On the hour, rugbyleague.com news. Brought to you by Thomson Reuters, the global leader for news.
Hull KR have secured the League Leader Shield with 2 matches to play. Meanwhile, their rivals Hull FC are outside the top 6 after the 18-4 win by the Robins at Sewell Group Craven Park. Challenges by Jack Ashworth and Elliot Minchella are sure to attract the attention of the match reviewers on Monday, running through the details. The Hull KR tries to Tom Davies, Jack Broadbent, Jez Litton and Noah Booth. 1 goal to Arthur Morg against a late try by Tom Briscoe for Hull FC. At halftime, it was 4-0 to Hull KR, and repeating that full-time score in the only Sunday Super League game. Hull KR 18, Hull FC 4. In the Championship with home teams first, Doncaster 0, York 56, Featherstone 28, Oldham 12, Halifax 16, Widnes 14, Hunslet 6, Sheffield 46. This is Steve Mascord for rugbyleague.com. Now with the rest of today's news, here's Jason Costigan.
Thanks, Steve. It was the Newcastle Knights who collected the wooden spoon in the NRL after Parramatta put them to the sword in the final game of the regular season at CommBank Stadium. The Eels scored 12 tries to 2 in robbing home 66-10 after leading 34-4 at half-time. Among the stars for Parramatta, Josh Addo-Carr, who scored a hat-trick. He's now scored 159 tries in first grade, elevating the Fox to top 10 all-time in NRL history. Earlier, the Dolphins finished off the season with a big win over a well below-strength Canberra, 62-24, the final score at KO, after the Finns led 30-0 at half-time. The final standings: Canberra 44 points, Melbourne 40, Bulldogs 38, Broncos 36, outside the 4, Sharks 36, Warriors 34, Panthers 33, Roosters 32, and outside the 8, Dolphins and Manly on 30 points, Parramatta 26, Cowboys 25, Tigers and South Sydney 24, Dragons 22, Gold Coast and Newcastle both finishing on 18, with the Knights finishing last because of their inferior for and against record. And as for the finals, they start on Friday night with the Storm versus the Dogs in Melbourne. On Saturday, we've got the sudden death games. Cronulla hosting the Roosters after the match in Auckland between the Warriors and the Panthers. And then on Sunday, Ricky's Raiders welcome the Broncos. For the Green Machine, a stack of big names to return after being rested. In the Queensland Cup, in what was sudden death on the Sunshine Coast, the Ipswich Jets prevailed 25-24 against the Falcons in Golden Point. In Country Rugby League, 7 grand finals on Sunday afternoon across 3 states. Firstly, in Group 2 on the north coast of New South Wales, Nambucca Heads are celebrating after they defeated Sawtell 14-2 in the season finale at Coffs Harbour. In the Hunter Valley, Singleton was at home for the Group 21 grand final, and it was the Greys who emerged victorious 28-22 over the minor premiers Greater Branxton. On the south coast in Group 16, Tathra have lifted the trophy. Despite Merimbula Pambula having home ground advantage, the Sea Eagles beat the Bulldogs 30 points to 18, and worth noting that the Dogs went through the regular season undefeated. In the Central West, an absolute thriller to decide the Peter McDonald Premiership at Dubbo's Apex Oval, where minor premiers Dubbo Sims scraped home 23-22 against Forbes, Jeremy Thurston's Golden Point field goal proving the difference. And up at Moree in the northwest, the Boars 32-16 over Gunnedah in the Group 4 grand final. In Queensland, they had the Northern District's premiership decider in the cane fields of South Callan just outside Bundaberg, and it was the Isis Devils who reigned supreme, the boys from Childers beating the locals 38-32. And in regional Victoria, they had the grand final for the Goulburn Murray League at Glenrowan, made famous thanks to bushranger Ned Kelly, and it was Shepparton who got the job done 23-22 against Tumbarumba. And last but not least, in PNG, the minor premiers Mendy Murex into the grand final against Leigh Tigers thanks to a 20 points to 12 victory over the East New Britain Gurias in their preliminary final of the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup. That was after the Murex led 10-4 at the break at the Santos NFS. Jason Costigan reporting for rugbyleague.com.